Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me. I am Cheryl and this is Your Journey Yoga. And today we are going to focus on the lower back, the hips, and the hip flexors. So if you suffer with sciatica or piriformis syndrome or a tight lower back, hamstrings that are super tight, we're going to throw a little bit of those in there. But hopefully this will help you find a great deal of relief and some strength as you get back into taking care of those regions of your body. Listen to your body. Take care of it. If it doesn't feel good, it's okay not to participate, or if you need to change and minimize the range of motion that you're using, perfect. If you want to sit up on a block or a bolster or a blanket that's been folded, absolutely yes. So if you get the bottom up off of the floor a little bit, that can ease some of the tension in your hips. So please feel free to use whatever you need. And I'm going to turn sideways just because I think it's a little bit easier to see with some of these exercises. So I'll be facing front sometimes and side sometimes. So we're going to open up our feet about the width of the mat. If you don't have a mat, it's okay. You can just be on the floor. You can be on a blanket, a towel, or carpet, whatever it is. We're going to bring the hands behind us. And I want you to be mindful that you're not just kind of sinking into your shoulders, but you're lifting your chest and you're staying active in your core. Your feet are about the width of your mat. If you don't have your mat, a little bit wider than your hips. And we're going to rock the knees side to side, as big of a motion as feels okay to you. So if one side, maybe they go a little bit deeper than the other, I just want you to notice. I don't want you to judge, but I just want you to notice how that range of motion feels. So we have a little internal and external rotation through the head of the femur, through the hip joint here going on. So what do you notice? Making sure there's no pain. Let's do a couple more. If you need a few more than that, absolutely, go for it. Now we're going to take it over to the right, and we're going to do our very best to create a 90-degree bend with our knees, both legs, okay? So from the ankle to the knee, knee to the hip, from the hip to the knee, and down to the ankle. How is that for you? Sitting up nice and tall, hands kind of on either side to help prop you up. And I just want you to notice what's going on through the hip joints. If there's pain, back off a little bit. You're working to sit up as tall as you can sit. So for me, I feel this definitely more through the inner thigh on that left leg. My right leg is in front, left leg is back. How about you? What do you feel? Just make sure that there's no pain, right? Now we're going to bring both hands forward and shift our weight forward just a little bit. We're going to lift that back knee and lower it down. Now lift that back foot, flex it, and set it down. Knee lifts, knee comes down, foot lifts, foot comes down. How is that? I want you to go slow and steady. I want you to be mindful in how you're moving. Okay, and again, if it's not right, it's okay. Not only are we building mobility here, but we're building strength. Breathe. Last one. Nice job. And we bring it back, and we're going to switch to the other side. So again, that 90 degrees. I like to use the top of my mat kind of as my shin, and then making sure, so the shin is across the top of the mat and the knee and the hip are in line, and then checking in, because this back foot always has a tendency to pull in a little bit. We're going to press it out and away, and again, a 90-degree bend. Is this side a little harder for you or a little easier for you? I like to flex that front foot just to really create those angles. You do you. Take care of yourself. What do you notice? Yep. So here again, that back hip, definitely feeling that there. Where are you? Is it the back? Is it the front? Is it the front leg? Is it your back? So just making sure dull, achy pain is good. That means you're stretching it. If it's sharp, if it's numb or tingling, not good. Okay, so move if you need to. Breathe. And we're working to sit up as tall as we can sit and turn facing front with the chest and the belly just as much as you can. Now we're going to shift that weight forward, bringing your hands out in front on either side of your knee. And again, we're going to lift that back knee and lower it down. And if you're like, oh my gosh, how did that just happen? Lift the foot and lower it down. Just send that energy there. Even if it doesn't move, if you can register it there, it will move when it's ready. So range of motion is what it is today. Honor that in whatever that means, wherever we are. We focus on what we can do. Okay, we can keep our thoughts positive. We can keep working. Progress is up and down and all over the place. We've got one more each. So I just noticed my foot snuck in a little bit. I'm going to make sure I kick it out. Good. Go ahead and sweep that left leg around and up and over. So if it was your right, it's okay. So crossing so that the foot is to the outside, sitting up nice and tall, working to get both sit bones down. Breathe. So really nice stretch in those outer hips. Finding your breath, great for sciatica, great for a piriformis stretch. So good for the hips. If it feels good to you, wrap. Opposite arm around the knee, sit up as tall as you can sit, and then turn and look out over your back shoulder. Lord of the Fish pose. If it feels good to you, bring that back hand to the mat, sit up even taller, and turn and look out over that back shoulder a little bit more. So we can keep that elbow and that arm pulling the knee in, or you can place the back of the elbow against the top of the knee and press for a little deeper rotation. So that's going to influence the stretch in your spine, in your hip, making sure that your body says, yep, this is a good place to be. If it's not, back it off and pull that knee in with the crook of the elbow. So these are gentle stretches. Some of them are going to be a little more intense than others, but we should never be above an 8 on the intensity scale. You should always be able to breathe slow and steady, slowly releasing, coming back to facing front, and let's switch so the other leg is on top. Taking it up and over. Working to get both sit bones down. Again, gentle. Take your time. This is not fast. This is mindful and meaningful movement. All right. So this is where we just take our time. We breathe. We take a second once we get into the pose. Relax our jaw. Soften our eyes. Wrapping the crook of the opposite elbow around. Pull it in. Sit up as tall as you can sit. And then turn and look out over that back shoulder. So whether it be that you're just starting your yoga journey, or you're coming after an injury or surgery or something that's kind of set you back, where maybe you're like, I need to slow things down, or I need to pick up the pace and do some things that I know are good for me. Placing that right hand behind you if you like, prop yourself up even taller. So it's really important, guys, as it is with life in general, keep a sense of humor, okay? This is not a linear journey. If you like, the back of the arm presses against the outside of the knee. Oh gosh, that feels good. Breathe. So that's the kind of thing you want. You want to be in a place where you go, that feels so good. Breathe. If you're in a place where you're like, why am I here? My body does not like this. Honor that and adjust. If that means coming out entirely, it's okay. And then gently release, turning back to face front, and release your legs. Let's extend those legs out long. Moving that fleshy part of your bum away from the sit bones. Flex your feet. Just sit up nice and tall. Hands can rest on your thighs or down by your sides. Again, you're welcome to sit up on a bolster, a block, a pillow, a blanket. So if you have super tight hamstrings, this can be very challenging. You can also roll up a towel and put that or a block underneath your knees to give them a little support. If it feels good to you, if you wish, walk your hands forward. We're going to keep that spine as long as we can, and we're just going to outstretch those fingertips. We're going to roll those shoulders back and draw those shoulder blades down your spine. So really feel like you're sliding those shoulder blades down into the back pocket. A little tuck of your chin down towards your chest, so you're just looking down towards your ankles. Breathe. You can support with your hands as much as you need to. Feel that length in the spine. Again, dull ache is all we want, no pain. If it feels good to you, go ahead and bend your elbows and lower yourself down. If you need the support, keep it. If you need to soften your feet, soften your feet. Let your head be heavy. So we're going to do a couple different figure 4 stretches here. First one we're going to do seated, and then eventually we're going to take it down onto our backs. Either walking your hands back up or reaching it out and hinging it all the way back up. Release your hands down by your sides. We're going to pull that left foot in and cross the right ankle over the left knee, and then we're going to sit up as tall as we can sit. So there's this tendency to hollow out through your tummy and your chest and kind of lean back into it. Resist that and sit up tall. So the more we draw the chest and the tummy towards the legs, the more you're going to feel this. And we want to feel a nice stretch in that right hip. Our figure 4, so if you were to take your leg long and that knee was bent, that's your figure 4. So we just pull the knee in. If it feels good to you, if you wish, lift your bottom, slide it forward, and then walk your hands up. If by walking your hands up, all of a sudden you've lost your neck or your bottom is floating off the ground, back it off just a little bit. Your hands can be however you wish them to be facing, and a little press of that right knee out and away. So now there's this tendency to kind of lock up and be heavy through the hips and engaged. I want you to try and relax through the glutes and just open up the hip. So that little external rotation of that right knee. Now you can stay right here, or you can back it off and wrap the crook of the elbows around the outside edge of your knee and around the outside edge of your foot and pull it in. If this makes you collapse through your chest, back off a little bit. Okay, better to have it resting against your knee than to let your posture fall apart. We sit up nice and tall. Find your breath. Now I'm going to give you a little extra bonus. You absolutely do not have to take it. If you're focusing on your hip, stay focused on your hip. If you want to add in some core, we're going to lean it back a little bit and just lift that left foot. And you're going to feel your core muscles kick in a little bit. It's kind of cool how they feel. You can also extend that left leg out. Breathe. Working the quad on that left side. But if that takes away from you stretching your hip, this is about getting those hips happy. Getting rid of that pain from that sciatica, from that piriformis syndrome, from those tight muscles. Pulling it back in, release it down, and extend. We're going to take it into the other side. Extend that right leg out. Cross that left foot up and over. Find that figure 4. Bring your hands behind and pull the knees in. So checking in, right? This is totally different than it was on the other side. We are not made identically right and left side. So listen, feel all the feels. You'll hear me say that a lot. And it's important. Feel all the feels. When we try and ignore if something's not right or it hurts, that doesn't do us any good. That just leads to injury and it gets us further away from our goals. If it feels good, walk your hands forward, your bum forward. If all of a sudden you have no neck or your bum is floating off the ground or it's too intense, back off. This is supposed to be nice. Be gentle, be kind. Breathe. If you like, back your bum off, wrap the crook of the elbows around the outside edge of the knee and the outside edge of your foot, and sit up as tall as you can sit. Feel that length in the spine. Draw those shoulder blades down, nestle them into that back pocket. If you like, lean it back. Again, adding those core muscles, you don't have to do it. It's just an extra. I want you to focus on that left hip. If you like, extend that right leg, point your toes. Breathe. So again, it's about mobility, flexibility. It's about getting stronger as you're ready. If today you're like, I don't have it in me, it's okay, honor that. Bend the knee, gently release it down, and extend your leg. Again, extend those legs out long. Flex your feet. Reach it high. As you exhale, cross the back of the left hand to the outside of your right foot. Rotate and reach in a diagonal line. Open it up. Oh my gosh, does that feel good? All through the back. Breathe through the hamstrings, through the chest. Slowly bring that hand back forward, palms touch. Inhale, reach it out and sit up nice and tall. Exhale, back of the right hand to the outside of your left foot. Rotate your body and reach. Left arm extends in a diagonal line. Open it up. Find your breath. Slow it down. Exhale, draw that back hand forward. Bring your palms to touch. Inhale, one hand on either side of your feet. Reach it out. Sit up nice and tall. Draw your right knee in towards your chest. Hold onto the shin and just slowly roll it back. Pulling that right knee in. Let's bend that left knee, sole of the foot to the mat. And we're going to take that right hand, pulling the right knee up and out towards your armpit. Now we can keep that left knee bent, or you can extend that leg out long. I just want you to take care of your back. If that's too intense, back it off. We pull that left knee back in, bringing that right knee back to center, crossing your right ankle over the left knee. Here's that laying figure 4. We draw the knees in, reach that right hand through your little window, interlace your fingers behind that left thigh, nestle your shoulder blades down against the mat, and pull those knees in. A little rock side to side if you like. Breathe. Coming back to center. Release your hands. Release that left foot. Cross that right leg all the way up and over the left. Pull your knees back in. Reach down. Take a hold just above your ankles and gently pull it in. Gently. Breathe. And release, placing that left foot back to the mat. Right arm extends out to a T, and we take both knees to the left. Left hand to the top of the right knee. And turn and look out over your right arm. Find your breath. Find that release. Releasing that left hand, rolling it back to center, placing your right foot to the mat, pulling your left knee in, hands to your shin, just below your knee. Now we can keep that right knee bent, or you're welcome to extend that right leg out. That's just going to give you a longer stretch to the hip flexor on that front of that right leg. If your lower back is like, hey, I don't love that, pull your foot back in. We bend that right knee, pulling the foot back in just a little bit. Right arm extends out. Left hand's going to guide that left knee up and out towards your armpit. We bring that left knee back to center, crossing the left ankle over the right knee. And again, that left knee rolls open, our figure 4. Pulling the knees in, reach your left hand through that little window, interlace your fingers behind that right thigh, and gently pull it in. Nestling your shoulders down against the mat. Breathe. So we've worked some mobility, we've worked some flexibility, we've worked some strength. Checking in with how you're feeling and all that you're able to do. Gently release your hands, place that right foot back to the mat, cross that left leg all the way up and over. Again, pull those knees back in, reach down, take a hold just above the ankles, anywhere above the ankles, and pull it in nice and tight. As tight as feels good to you. So hopefully everything we've done today has felt great. If not, just kind of take a mental note, maybe even write it down as to what didn't feel great and where and why. And come back to this whenever you like. Gently releasing the hands, keeping those knees crossed, left arm out to a T, right hand to the outside of the left knee, and gently guide your knees across. Take your gaze out over your left arm. Without judgment or criticism, just be honest and sincere about what this journey was for you today. What part of your practice was great? Hopefully it was a lot of it. What part was a little bit of a struggle? It's all good, guys. It's all part of the journey. Just be real, be sincere, be honest, be kind. Gently releasing, coming back to center, placing that left foot to the mat, arms open out to a T just so that they're out of your way, and heel toe those feet open, a little bit wider than the width of your mat. And we're going to rock both knees to the left. Feel that shift in the pelvis and that really nice stretch. And then roll it through center and both knees fall to the right. This is controlled. Even though I say fall, I don't want you to just let them fall. Guide them down and take it through center and again over to the left. And back through center and one more time to the right. It is always an honor to be here for you guys, hopefully helping in every way I can. Coming back to center, heel toe your feet back in mindfully. Pull one knee in towards your chest and then the other. Hands to your shins, just below your knees. Pull the knees in nice and tight. Really nice release for your lower back and a gentle rock side to side. So I know some of the poses were a little more intense than others today. So you take your intensity to where you need it each and every time. Some days